Hello, beautiful creatives. This is going to be kind of a vloggy style video because I'm just going to chat with you about some things. I placed an order for some restock items, so I don't know if it's that exciting. There's a couple of actually new items. One was a gift, and the restock order was made possible by my YouTube subscribers and my Patreon subscribers. Those of you that subscribe to my YouTube channel and use my links for affiliate links allow me to restock paint that I use up while I'm painting for you guys. So thank you, genuinely. Thank you for those supporting me in those ways. And to those of you that hit the super thanks underneath the YouTube video, thank you, thank you. So that's the restock part of the video is brought to you by my YouTube subscribers and my Patreon subscribers. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I have a wide variety of viewers, and I tend to get on tangents with things, and I make a bunch of videos about something. Well, I'm still on my faces tangent, and there's some of you with chronic illness that I don't want to say feel disappointed when I go back into tighter painting, but you miss the sort of more abstract, free-flowing, intuitive, expressive painting. So I just wanted to let you know that even though the work I showed in last week's video and some of what I'm going to show you in this week's video is tighter paintings, tighter face paintings, I still do in between. I still come up here on days when I'm not feeling well and paint more abstractly. Like one example of that was this painting that I did this week, just using up excess, I think it was flash paint. Yeah, it was flash paint in colors that I wasn't that crazy about. And then I did another one. I came up here one day and just wasn't feeling that well, so I just did, I think I used acrylic inks for this, and just total abstract filling pages, and this work feels really good. There's a time and a place for that work absolutely every week in my life that I do that. And then I think I did a couple in here over the week. Yeah, I did. I just did this sort of abstract piece. And I did some writing with my fountain pen throughout this when it was done. This was just splashing. Oh, I had some leftover watercolor pans that I've been wanting to use up. I don't know, these pans that I've had kicking around forever. And this is a great way when you change out paint and you have these leftover pans that have a little bit of paint left, just wet them down and do some abstract work and then do some journaling over it. It really is a powerful practice. This one, I felt like doing some mixed media. So I took out my oil pastels, and I think it's probably Liquitex Basics underneath that, and just had a play with that. What else did I do that I haven't shown you? Oh, this one. This was just a page, again, where I had a bunch of old flash paint in bright colors that I didn't care for, painted the whole background, and then went around it with gouache. And, not gouache, excuse me, gesso. I painted around it with gesso and outlined it. It looks like I might have used a Montana acrylic marker and outlined it. So I definitely do not paint tight every day. I depend heavily, very heavily on my abstract pages to get me through difficult weeks. And if it seems like I'm doing this weird step back and forward thing, I am. I have my leg up on a stool. I have a frozen shoulder, and I have to be really careful how I move this arm. And so by bracing one of my legs up, it's kind of hard to explain, but in this position, looking at the camera this way, it helps me keep this arm closer to my body and resting on the desk when I put my arm down. it is my right arm. It's going to limit a little bit how I'm able to do things in my videos. I talked to my physical therapist today and she gave me some tips, but I'm essentially supposed to keep it pretty close to my body until we can get things better. But we're working on it and it'll come. So I think what I'll actually do is probably flip the camera around, show you what I am restocking, show you the new thing that I got, and show you some of what I'm up to in my sketchbooks. Okay guys, I'm so happy that you're joining me this week, and if you do like the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. A couple of you last week were saying you missed my studio assistant. She is here and well and growing. Can you believe how big she is? She's 12 pounds now. We thought that she was going to max out at 7 when we adopted her. We thought she was a little chihuahua, but she's getting big. We think she has some of that Mexican, I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's like XOLO, I don't know. I'll have to learn how to pronounce it, but Mexican hairless dog in her, because she has the shortest coat that I have ever seen. She's just about bare on her belly, but she's got the shortest coat I've ever seen. Okay, so apparently I disconnected my mic towards the end of that last clip. I hope it's working now, but I guess I had Alana pressed up against my mic and it somehow disconnected it. But here's the old man. Tongue out, Toshi. His tongue always hangs out of his mouth now. He's our good boy. He's our #1 boy, and he is really happy to have Alana. Alana's down here jumping up on my legs because she's jealous, but he's such a good boy. He's such a good, sweet boy, and he's so good to his sister, and he tolerates all her nonsense. But I think it's helped him with missing his brother, who passed away last year. That tongue is crazy. But there's the little man. Yep, he still comes up into the studio. Oh, you can see Alana over there. Okay, let's get on to the video. Okay, so I think I'll move the sketchbooks aside for now and show you what I got in the box. This is actually a moth that Alana killed. She has become a moth killer. Every time I take her outside, especially, well, mostly at night when the moths are flying around the light, she will leap up in the air and kill them. And I try so hard to train her not to do it, but she's obsessed. So I'm saving this actually because there's a painting I'm going to show you that I'm working on that I may incorporate that moth in. You know, I showed you guys once that I did my drawings for my paintings in these Stabilo pastel. These are the Carbothello, and they're still really nice to do your drawings in, but I find sometimes the soft pastel dust gets caught up in the paint and it's hard to get rid of. So what I've been using lately, and I know a lot of, this is no new news, a lot of people use these, but I've been using my Caran d'Ache. This is actually a mixture of Van Gogh and Caran d'Ache watercolor pencils, and this, I'm just liking this a lot better at the moment. I go through stages with things, but for right now, I'm really enjoying using the watercolor pencils. Or sometimes, I think I demonstrated this for Patreon. I use charcoal and then go over it. Charcoal or Stabilo, and then go over it with gesso. All of them are really fun ways to do faces. But right now I have too much stuff on my desk. So first I think I'll show you the restock items. So basically it's not that exciting. It's Liquitex Basics. I ordered 2 of these. Blick had their annual paint sale. They've been doing that for years and they tend to have incredible prices. Well, the last couple of times, the last couple of years, last year I restocked some golden paint, but I'm really not using golden anymore. I'm using Liquitex more, especially Liquitex Basics in my sketchbooks because I love how flat they are. And I'll tell you what, you got to check places like Jerry's Artorama, Cheap Joe's, and even Michael's, because ended up ordering this from Jerry's Artorama because they were quite a bit cheaper. They had their sale at the same time, and it's the second time that Blick has had a big sale on something that Jerry's Artorama was less expensive. So it's worth shopping around. You know, I kind of used to just take it for granted that Blick's annual sale was the cheapest prices. Okay, so I got a cadmium yellow deep hue, which actually when I had placed my original order for Liquitex was not in stock. So that's not even a restock. That's something new. Naples yellow. And again, this wasn't in stock. I didn't have a Naples yellow. So some of these are actually new to me. Bronze yellow. I haven't tried this color yet, but I'm really looking forward to trying that to dull to dull some colors up. So sorry, I have a cough. I might have to keep sipping water through this. Oh, this is something else I'm going to show in a minute. Green gray. Again, I ordered 2 of these because I know I'm going to love it. And last time I placed the order for my original set of Liquitex, some of which of those were gifts, but they didn't have the green gray. So those are all new to me colors except for the white. This is a restock. This blue gray, I use this so much. And this light pink, I use this so much. I love these colors. You could easily mix these, but it's so nice to just have tubes. If they had these in the bigger size bottles, I would get them. And they may somewhere, they just didn't on Blick or Jerry's Artorama. I did not have an orange. I was mixing my own orange, but there are times when it's nice just to squeeze out some orange. I would probably never use this straight. I would dirty it a little bit, muddy it up a little bit, but it's handy. It's just really handy to have. And this is rose pink. I had the light pink. I haven't tried their rose pink yet, so that will be fun to try. Cad Red Deep. I had Cad Red Light and Cad Red Medium, but I didn't have Cad Red Deep, which is a really nice color. And Neutral Gray number 5. Again, this is such a great color for mixing colors with and for doing some grayscale paintings. So that was that order, really reasonably priced on Jerry's Artorama. I can't remember what they were per tube, but they were substantially cheaper than the sale at Blick's. It was, you know, worth going to a different place. I mean, I love to support Blick, but they just have not been the least priced one lately. So that is an order that was placed thanks to my YouTubers who subscribe and use my affiliate links. I combined both of the income from both of those areas to place this order. Then what I did was one of the kinds of incomes that I get is from Canada Amazon and UK Amazon. And I get those payments very infrequently because I don't have as many viewers that purchase through my links. But these 2 things I purchased through them. And this is Liquitex Coarse Texture Medium. So this has got sand in it. It's like a sand acrylic. It's a grainy effect medium. Mix with color, use on its own or over paint. I have never used this before. I think it's just basically sand in a clear medium, but I'm looking forward to trying this out with inks. I think this would be really fun to see how inks flow on this texture. So that I'm really looking forward to. And I just shut off the video and went back to last week's comments to try to find out who made this comment because I really wanted to thank her. I can actually picture her little profile picture. I can't find her comment though. Maybe she commented on Patreon or, yeah, maybe she commented on Patreon. But anyways, I was demonstrating the using cold wax. I bet it was Patreon because I think I did that video on Patreon, but I was demoing applying cold wax, Dorland's cold wax, to my sketchbook pages so that they wouldn't stick. And she said she watched a video, I don't remember who it was that she watched, uses Pan Pastel's clear, what is this? Colorless blender. So this is colorless blender. And she said she watched somebody use this. So I'm going to try this because, as I mentioned in that demonstration video that I did, Dorland's Cold Wax does have solvent in it, and it does have a slight solventy odor. But I'm going to try this actually on a page that I have and see how it works. Okay, and this book was a gift. Every so often somebody sends me a gift and they ask to be anonymous. I think sometimes even the Amazon orders come through if you order something off of my Blick wish list or my Amazon wish list, I think you can choose to send it anonymously. Sometimes people will reach out to me and just ask if they can send something directly. And this was sent to me, and this is awesome. I can't wait to have a chance to dig into this more. Usually I wrote who gave me the book inside, so I remember. But since this is anonymous, I thought I better not, because then I'll forget and say something. But this has all kinds of color mixing recipes in here, and I can't wait to make some videos around the color mixing in here. It even breaks it down to, you know, like ear, nose, color themes, mouth. So it has planes of the head, the facial planes, which is really, wow, that's great. Painting a sphere with colors. All kinds of information in this book. And you guys, this was from somebody who knew, as most of you do, what a color mixing addict I am. I absolutely love, it tells you what paint colors are needed to do the mixing. Yeah, so this is something I'm really looking forward to exploring more with you guys. I think I will probably end up doing some color mixing videos on Patreon. Who knows, maybe I'll feel so expert after reading this book that I'll do a tiny color mixing class on Patreon. I think I mentioned in my last video, Patreon has just come out with pay-per-view posts, so which is so exciting. If you really don't want to commit to being a member at like $5 a month, then I can make little classes. I can make content that's like an hour or 2 hours long. I don't know if there's a limit on how long videos can be. I'm hoping I could do like 2-hour videos, because that would be a nice bite-sized class for introducing to like painting faces or color mixing or whatever. Well, you don't have to be a member. You could be a free member. There's free membership of my Patreon, or I don't think you even have to be a free member, and I can advertise these pay-per-class videos where I teach a little bit more in-depth on a subject than I can do on YouTube, and you could just purchase that class. And I think it's yours to watch forever as long as my Patreon is up. So that might be something that might be fun to do around this book, what I learned from this book. So that was a generous gift. Thank you very much. It's one that I will treasure, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, so what is in here is me still being obsessed with faces. I showed some of this, I think I showed this little sketchbook last week in the flip through, but now actually I'm not sure if I did or not. But this is sanguine, I believe, and white charcoal. And this is obviously black charcoal and white, you know, charcoal. These are the same, just the black charcoal and white chalk, white pastel charcoal. So much fun doing these quick little faces. This was that funky multicolor pencil. I hope I didn't show this last week in the flip through. Now I'm second guessing myself. I'm wondering. Just graphite face. This was Payne's Gray Inktense and water. And I've just been doing these sitting in my art nest at night. This was a mix of watercolor, Payne's Gray, Inktense pencil, or no, my dry gouache palette. That's right. I started out with the Payne's Gray Inktense pencil and then went over it with some dry gouache. And just another graphite drawing. So faces, faces, faces. I'm still obsessed with faces. This one, I'm pretty sure I showed. This was the Inktense, one of the gray Inktense pencils with gesso. That's one of my favorite combinations, is Stabilo or Inktense with water and gesso. So I think this was acrylic, where I just really fast I started with these two, and then I just started getting faster and faster, just like really moving my brush, using a larger brush than you would think this is capable of. So I can't put my finger on it right now, but you know, something like this or even larger, where you just literally cannot make a fussy eye. You know, you're just kind of going boop, boop for a line and the nose. These are so much fun to do. And when I talk about doing a faces class, I'm talking about doing these kind of exercises that, to me, that's the best way to learn, is to start out with something fun and fast before you get into the meat of the measurements. If I did do a class, that's the way I think I would start, is to do the fun exercises, do some contour drawings, and then move into the actual measurements and proportions of a face. But so that's things that I was up to this week. And then I did this girl this week. This one, I have to glue this one in somewhere into this sketchbook because I want to keep her together with the other ones. But I worked on her, posted her on Instagram. You may have seen her there. This was a really fun painting to do. I just sort of did an imaginary landscape background. I really like her. I really like how she came out. And then I started this girl yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday. And the original, I drew her out in watercolor pencil. And the original drawing, the original painting that I had done, I went pretty far with it. And I was struggling and struggling and struggling with it. And at one point, I left the outline but wiped out the face, and then started to repaint the face in sort of the same footprint. And I just got so frustrated with it. The face was almost completely painted, and I just didn't like it. It didn't feel right to me. So I took white paint, and then I took a coat of gesso and just went over the whole thing to give it some tooth back again, and repainted her face. And I'm really glad I did. I just didn't like the first one. I wouldn't have been happy with it. You can see that I ran out of, I think you can see on the video that I ran out of my Liquitex white, and I had to revert to using golden white, and it's shiny. I used it to mix everything, and it's so shiny. Actually, what I started out with, which was interesting, I started out using golden so flat because I thought, well, how perfect will that be? It'll be flat, but to mix the colors. But using it, I've used so flat before, where I've done sort of one stroke paintings, like landscapes, where you put down a brush stroke and you don't go back, and it worked fine for me. But in faces, I tend to go over and over areas. You know, I tend to reinstate highlights or reinstate shadows a few times before I'm really comfortable with it. Like even this, I'm going to lighten this shadow of her chin, the bottom of her chin down here. I might lighten this under her eyes. You know, I tend to work over it. This got really sticky, this golden so flat. It does have a little bit of an odor too. It got really sticky after a while. So that's interesting. If you like to do a lot of layering, that was weird. So then I resorted to my golden regular acrylics, titanium white, which is wonderful. It's a wonderfully opaque white. You can see here how opaque it is by they hand paint a strip over the lines. It's a wonderful paint. It really is. I don't like the shine. I've gotten so used. So hopefully on this video, this shine is showing up. And this is my girl. Well, no, I think I actually did use, because I had run out of white, so I had to use white in there too. And she's shiny with the white. But yeah, so I need to finish her. I need to think about what I'm going to do in the limited amount of background that shows. I was thinking of honoring this moth by maybe putting, I don't know, a moth in her hair or a moth necklace on her, or a giant moth somewhere. I don't know, but this poor little beautiful, beautiful moth, I wanted to honor him somehow, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. I didn't get a chance to ask whoever told me how they apply this, what is this again? Colorless blender to the page. I'm wondering, they probably use one of those pan pastel applicators, but maybe I'll try using just this makeup sponge. This has been waxed on this side with Dorland's cold wax, and it gives it such a nice satin sheen. I really like that sort of flat sheen. And this one has not been coated. And I'm going to use this pan pastel, and I hope it works, because I love this painting and I don't want to ruin it. I really would be sad. Ooh. Ooh, I don't know. Is it dulling it? Maybe I put too much on. Well, I'll try it and see what happens. I can see the theory behind it. You're putting a thin coat of sort of cornstarchy like powder on that. As a matter of fact, cornstarch probably would work and be cheaper than this. But yeah, it makes sense. If the powder stays on there, it definitely makes sense, and no smell. Yeah, see, it's coming up on my hand. We'll see. We'll see how it works. It definitely does make sense as long as the powder stays on there and doesn't come off. So one side is waxed, one side is powdered, and we'll see. It should not stick. All right. So I think what I'm probably going to do at this point is close out this video, because I want to try to get some more work done on her today. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I do want to get some more work done on her. This is the palette I'm using. I have reduced it down to a very small palette because I just feel like I never have enough room on my desk. So I've been using this. I do miss the larger size palette for color mixing. So what I've been doing is mixing my colors on a separate sheet of paper, like having the colors poured out here and then mixing on here. What happened yesterday when I painted this and then painted a face and then painted over was I got frustrated, so I just started mixing on here. Yeah, and kind of made a mess of it, but that's all right. I'm going to work on her dress in the background today and see what happens. If I get anywhere with it before it's time for me to edit this video, I'll show you. Otherwise, you'll see it on Instagram in the next couple of days. Okay, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this sort of vloggy style video, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you're having a wonderful creative summer and enjoying yourself and finding time to spend with yourself in your creative spaces. Yeah, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. And again, if you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And, oh, what should we say for the secret word? I don't know if you guys noticed, I brought the secret word back last week and only like 1 or 2 people noticed it at the end of the video. I also put a surprise picture. at the end of last week's video, and I think only one person saw the surprise picture at the very end of the video. But for the secret word, let's use pan pastel. That's a good one. Yeah, pan pastel. So I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Have a great week. Bye-bye.